Welcome to this edition of Morgan Asked For podcast. Good morning. It's Thursday morning, about 7:30. A little bit later. I am solo. Trevor's out with work this week, and just Zach's busy, and it's all right here. I'm gonna do a little mid-summer thoughts here for you. First, this is one of the slowest days of the year in sports. All-Star Game happened. SBs were last night. Everybody's just getting, all the baseball teams are getting into where they're going for the next game, whether they're traveling to the new city or back home. WNBA was heavy last night, not very much because our All-Star Game is coming up as well, which that's going to be about our main topic today. But right here in the middle of the summer, one of the slowest days of the year in sports. ESPYs was last night. Did not watch it. I saw some of the highlights. Shane Gillis, great comedian, went after a lot of people, and that's what that's all about, and all in good fun and everything. But I will probably try to watch more of that today, but I was not able to last night. First, I want to thank everybody for listening, but help us out a little bit here. Please rate, review, subscribe in YouTube or wherever you listen to us, whatever podcast player you to, Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you do it, Overcast, Podbean, wherever you do it, just, rate, review, like. It does help us, and subscribe. Probably subscribe is the number one thing. It helps that algorithm go. And then also, tell other people about us, friends, family, coworkers, whoever you might be, someone that, whether it's here locally in Iowa or anywhere around the country, around the world. It is kind of neat to see someone in South Africa has listened to us. No idea. I don't know if they're from here and just traveled there. Doesn't matter. But it's cool to see where everybody does listen. But wherever you are, we do appreciate you and thank you for helping us with our podcast here. I'm going to start this one with the MLB All-Star Game and really All-Star festivities. Home run derby. Cal Raleigh wins it. He's leading the league in home runs. He's, just doing awesome right now. It's really neat to see. His brother was catching and his dad was pitching. I know why they do all this, but the fast pitching and it's time limits, and I understand why, but it does go back to many years ago where, you had 10 outs or whatever it was, and you could let a ball go by. And, watching, Josh Hamilton or whoever it might be hit 20 home runs in a round. And I understand why they've changed it. Just that's too many swings and everything. But it's all about if the pitcher gets in a groove and you get in a groove and you can just pitch as quickly as you can. There's more than one ball in the air at a time, and it's sometimes kind of hard to find. And then also just, I don't know if everybody loved it, and maybe it did run its course, but Chris Berman going back all the time. It got old, and he probably said it thousands of times every home run derby, but it was the home run derby of my childhood. And even as it wasn't even that long ago that he was still doing it. And they're fun as well. And then let's move on to the game. Great game. National League got up big. American League made a heck of a comeback. And then it went to essentially a home run derby to finish it off, to break the tie. It was, the thing that I saw was the big names weren't there in it. Now, some of that is when those players that play in the first, second, third inning, some of those guys aren't there anymore. They take a shower, do whatever they need to do, and they leave because they're trying to get a day or two of vacation, or they got to get to the next spot where they need to be. So having Ohtani and Aaron Judge, they're probably not even there anymore. But that was high drama, and it was fun to watch. And that was truly old school home run derby, 3 swings, but you could take as many pitches as you want. And you could tell several of the guys, hey, I'm going to take a few here. Because the other thing in this situation, they did not have someone they were familiar with throwing. It was a guy for the Yankees for the American League and a guy for the Dodgers from the National League. So they were not familiar with how they throw batting practice. So they watched a few, and then they tried to time it. Great job there with everything. But Kyle Schwarber was the hero. 3 for 3. Took the lead, and then coming back in the next round, the third and final round, the American League guy did not hit any home runs, so it was over. So the third guy for the National League didn't even have to hit. But just fun, creative way of doing it. This was not the first year that would have been implemented. It was the first year it was ever had to be implemented. But I think I read or heard that 2022 they implemented this tie-breaking rule. Major League Baseball does, for a long time, did a lot of things wrong. But in the last 3-4 years, they've done a lot of things right. Pitch clock has helped immensely. The games are way faster. The All-Star Game is the best of the All-Star Games. It is the closest to the real thing. NHL doesn't even do it anymore. NBA, they just don't play defense. And then football's became a joke. They do games instead of an actual skill sessions and flag football instead of the real thing. And the TV broadcasts prove it. I think I saw last night where 7.2 million people watched that compared to, half of that for the others. So Major League Baseball is doing a good job on trying to make things better for today's environment. It still lags way behind football, college football, and then the NBA are all in front of them in TV revenue / popularity. But the All-Star Game situation, they've got it down the best they can. So good job, MLB Baseball. Now, the WNBA All-Star Game's coming up. They're in a world of hurt. Caitlin Clark on Tuesday night looked like she pulled her groin again, or at least tweaked it. I don't know if it's the same side, other side, doesn't matter. Did not look good. Played well, scored 9 over 14 points in the fourth quarter. Had another awesome assist showing. All-Star weekend is in Indianapolis. She's scheduled to be in the 3-point contest. She's the head coach or the captain of her team, all designed around Caitlin Clark. Now, I think she can. Now, here's some proposals I've seen. Does she still shoot 3-point contests? Physically, she can. Now, is it going to be great? Will she feel great? No. Can she? The other thing in the game, should she go in? Should she start, play for a minute, and then sit? Just to make it where she did play? Or, is it one of those, it is what it is, and you just play, and maybe you don't go 1,000%? I don't know what you do with her, but no matter what happens, she still has to be the face. And I believe I did see that at the ESPYs last night, she did win WNBA Player of the Year, which is a really good deal. Probably some controversy because, and I agree with, she is not the best WNBA player, but she is the most influential, most important, most visible, whatever, everything else she is, just maybe not the actual best basketball player in the WNBA. But she's right up there. I mean, it's not, you don't have to go very far to get her, but it's just going to be very interesting to see how the Fever, her, and the WNBA and the city of Indianapolis all handle this weekend. She did not play last night against Liberty. They got beat pretty good, which Liberty are really good. Yes, they have beat them, but they've lost to them as well with and now without her. So just continue saga. I don't know what you do with her. Do you try to sit her for 4 or 5, 6 more games? Just try to, hopefully you can tread water, get into the playoffs, and maybe she's healthy for the playoffs. It's a tough deal, and we'll find out how they do with her and what they do with her coming up, but I don't envy the WNBA and the All-Star Game this weekend on what to do with her. Because if she can't show, and she'll show, and that's she's, even if she doesn't play and doesn't participate in anything, she will be there because she does understand that aspect of her responsibility and her being the face of the WNBA. But it will be very disheartening for everybody around if she cannot participate in the activities. Another thing here, we just got finished Monday, Tyler's USSSA season, 12U. He played in the AAA division. I'm super proud of him and his teammates. They won the elite bracket, and it's funny. It's the elite bracket, and there was discussion when you bear it and what do you put with it. It is funny to watch, and because there are a lot of different state champions. There's the elite gold, and then there's the elite silver bracket, and then there's the AA elite gold, silver, bronze, whatever. How many ever? There's lots of state champions. And as a Sting, we've been very, very lucky. 9-year-olds, they won the AA silver bracket. 10-year-olds, they won the AA elite gold bracket, just like we did this year. And then last year we made the Final Four, and then this year we won the elite AAA gold bracket. So, which essentially means you're the top AAA team in Iowa, which is awesome. We hadn't played as well lately, but we came back and everybody did awesome this weekend. Had some kids really step up, and then the kids that have been doing super well all year just continued it, and then obviously a couple kids step up, and awesome, super fun to watch. All Pella kids. That's what's fun. We played PCM in the championship game, and as far as I know, they're all PCM kids. So it wasn't the travel teams. It wasn't the club teams. It was, I'm not going to say Pella's a small town, but smaller town. And then obviously PCM is a small town with some of the best baseball players around at their age level. So really fun to see. And we played PCM 4, 5, 6 times this year. We've scrimmaged against them in practice. So we're very familiar with them. And then Grant Burns, our head coach, does a great job with them. And this is how old I am. My first year teaching at Eddyville, Blakesburg, he was a player at PCM on a very good PCM team in every sport, won a state title in basketball. Brandon Myers was also on that team, obviously future Hawkeye and NFL tight end with the Giants. But Grant Burns was a heck of an athlete himself, and he went on to a great college career there around Des Moines. I believe he finished up at Grandview. But super proud of them. And then obviously our boys, they're Sting. They spent, and I know Tyler spends a lot of time fielding ground balls and extra hitting. I want to thank Doug DeCock. He helps Tyler out with his hitting, and it's really helped over the last few years, and he does a great job. So thank you, Doug. You hear and see the negatives about travel baseball or youth baseball or whatever. But this weekend we were at the Hy-Vee Plex in Grimes. Great facility. It was a little warm, and it is turf, but the turf helped. There was rain this weekend. I know the teams that played Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Iowa City had to deal with weather on Friday, changed their entire tournament. Not anybody's fault, but it just does stink. But having these really nice facilities around the Des Moines area, the rain and stuff, it rained a whole bunch on Friday, but able to play full games on Saturday, Sunday, Monday because of that turf. It was a little wet Friday morning. I do believe, just when I remember when we first got there, the balls got a little wet and everything, but you're able to play with that turf. Pros and cons to it. I like playing on regular grass and dirt. That's baseball, but when you have access to those facilities and you get to play at those, it's really, really nice. And thankfully, the city of Des Moines area, the metro, I'm not going to say the city of Des Moines, but Grimes, Norwalk, Ankeny, Waukee all have facilities that are great. I know Ankeny's is still dirt and grass, but Waukee, Triumph Park, Hy-Vee Plex, Fairway Fields, and Norwalk are all turf, multi-use, multi-sport things. It's kind of weird to see all the lines. It's soccer fields, it's baseball fields, and I'm sure, and they do softball on them, and it's just they make it work. And the other thing is just a great economic driver of that area of town, that city, all the restaurants, all the hotels. Obviously, being in Pella to Des Moines, we did not stay at a hotel, but those I know Pella teams were in Iowa City. They stayed in a hotel. Albia teams were in Iowa City. They stayed at a hotel. So you go out to eat. You go to Shields. You go to the mall. That's just what you do. You go to other places, shopping. You go to Starbucks in the morning. You go to Hy-Vee and get some food. Those things matter, and that's why, excuse me there, and that's why those communities fund those, is because they know they're going to get every dollar you spend, you get that tax money back into the cities, and that helps pay for that. And that comes, and that is also some of the reason that the big, NFL stadiums and the baseball stadiums and the basketball stadiums get publicly funded, even though billionaires own them, is every game that is there, restaurants and bars and hotels around benefit from that. So it's an economic driver to that city and all the businesses around. And they also, that's one of the big things Iowa State has been pushing, is if Iowa State and or Iowa, I don't think Iowa's is in a, if they would go to like 50 of the top teams in college football and everybody else is down a division, and if Iowa State doesn't make that cut, which they're right around that top 50, the economic driver of Iowa State football and Hawkeye football drives Iowa City in the fall. It drives Ames, and then even down to like Ankeny in the Des Moines area for Iowa State football, and restaurants, bars, hotels. I would even say, a Fairway Hy-Vee, when we go up there, we stay in our camper, we buy food, we grill it. We don't necessarily go to restaurants, but we go to Hy-Vee or we go to Fairway and get products. And those are both Iowa companies that have a lot of people from Iowa working for them. And that's just the way the world works. And if instead of 65,000 people around the stadium every week, it was 35, that's just that much less. And so, having the state help fund sporting events and sporting things does benefit everybody, because obviously the tax dollars and tax revenue goes back into the streets or services or whatever it is. Never enough. Always would like to do better, but that is some of it. And then last thing here I do want to talk about is Little League. What, different than the USSSA travel, Little League has finished up their regional play. State tournaments are here in Oskaloosa out at Lacey Park. So I believe it starts on Friday. So if you're looking for something to do, watching, as good a baseball as you can at the Little League level, it's teams. I know the 12-year-old team is from Oskaloosa here that made the state tournament. I don't know which 11-year-old. The 10-year-old is from Centerville. Appanoose County is going to go there. And the 9-year-olds are from Ottumwa. I don't know the 11-year-olds from this area going there. But local teams will be around. And then obviously other people coming in from around the state will be coming in. So again, help Oskaloosa. They'll go out to eat. They'll go to the store and buy food. They'll stay at our restaurant or stay at our hotels. And great opportunity for Oskaloosa to show off and to benefit our area. Probably someone will stay in Pellis, might stay in Knoxville or down in Ottumwa or where, it doesn't matter, just because I don't know how many teams come and stay, but Oskaloosa doesn't have the most hotel rooms around. So I would say between Oskaloosa and Pella, most of the people will be staying. But if you see people out and about, welcome them and say thanks for coming to Oskaloosa. That's really about all I have, about 20 minutes here. That's good. Thanks for listening. Again, I just can't thank everybody enough for listening, and then just, rate, review, and subscribe. Subscribe's the number one thing on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Podbean or Spotify, wherever you listen, hit that subscribe button. And that way, a couple things happen. One, it'll like notify you when we come out with a new podcast, which is, about once a week, usually, Tuesday, Wednesdays. Tomorrow, this morning will be a Thursday morning. And then just thank everybody, Dan Bryce from DB Landscaping, and then Steve Shetler for getting us on his platform as well. That's always a nice place to be. And I know several people watch it that way, and that's awesome. That's Thursday nights at 7:00, Steve Shetler Media outlet. So again, thanks everybody for listening, and have a great week, and we'll talk next week.